Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started here in just 1 minute. Okay, welcome, everyone to this Friday 4/4, very powerful day. Very grateful that all of you chose to join us. I am Heidi Cuppari, and this is Jenny Hines. And we have been co-midwifing all of this for you. And we have incredible stories to share and ways to welcome you in. So first, I would love to share that this is not your traditional webinar. And we would like to hold kind of a temple space, right? Where many of you are showing up because you're being called to something. You want to protect something. You want to do something different. You want to connect with people. So the first thing we really want to do is honor all of you for being here and also recognize that what the times we're in right now are what we can do together is remember why we're here. Remember why we're on the planet right now and what our purpose is at this particular moment in time, which is incredibly critical for everyone around the globe. As we're hearing and seeing, we have a very global network, so we've been getting a lot of information. So I'm here with Jenny and with you and with other members of our council who we will, and Ava Celeste, who is our youth council member and has been on the inner team. And so I am going to hand it to Jenny to ask your question.
Yeah, so as we start out today on this beautiful webinar that we all joined in together, I think the first question we want to ask everybody is, what's in your heart? I posted it also in the chat. What is in your heart as you're coming in today based on where you're at and what is going on in your life? We'd love if you can share in the chat.
And where are you joining from?
And where are you joining from? Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, Heidi.
You're welcome. So if you could all type that in there, as we will just give you a few moments to do that. This is going to be very interactive. We really want to hear from you, but because we have so many people, we will call on a few people to speak live along the way, and we'll be using the chat to hear from you and interact. So this is a very active chat. We want to hear everything. And so for those of you who just joined, we're all putting information in the chat. Where are you joining from and what is in your heart as we begin? And all is welcome. If you're frustrated, overwhelmed, all of that, that's really what most of what we're experiencing, really.
Yes, and Deborah Brown already shared hers. I want to share here. She's from Wheat Ridge joining, and she's thinking about all the people who have lost their jobs already and whose jobs are on stake with the dismantling of the Department of Education, among other things. Yeah, that is very heavy, weighing on a lot of people right now.
This is part of the webinar, your input and us reading it out, just so you know. So please don't be shy.
Eliza, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, is saying the tide of water revitalization is rising for present and future generations. That's beautiful. And Ugo, welcome, welcome, joining in from Lagos, Nigeria. We met at a youth conference a little while ago, which is fantastic. And she's saying something that's happening is that I'm at the end of my time in the university, and I'm once again reminded of how cumbersome and without support traditional academic learning can be. Thank you for that. Justin is sharing, he's joining from Columbia, South Carolina, USA, and his heart is open and looking to find more ways for his work to support youth and young adults moving through rites of passage through entrepreneurship and nature-based learning. Beautiful, thank you. Ugo is thinking about rest and learning, rest. Ava's from Providence, Rhode Island, in joining us today, and her heart today is all about protecting youth futures. Gina is joining us from the UK. Welcome. With a huge mission to improve the quality of leadership of self and others, conscious heart-centered leadership based on integrity, compassion, and courage. Currently in the thick of organizing a huge in-person summit. That sounds crazy work-wise, to revolutionize the care system. She believes we have to be the light and join with others who are ready to do so for others, to hold the high vibration no matter what else is happening in the world. Beautiful. Thank you. And Cesar and Emily here from Boulder, Colorado. Also have one foot in Barcelona, Spain. Our 4-year-old daughter Maya is on our hearts, and what education will support her as she lives in times of transition. Wonderful. Thank you. Just double checking that I didn't miss anyone. But thank you for sharing that Zineb was in your Le Ciel Foundation group, facilitated for a year. That's beautiful. We'd love to hear that. Bud is joining from Louisville, Colorado, and his life is full with opportunities to deepen connections with caring hearts and minds. He has a powerful sense of urgency balanced by grounded optimism and a commitment to tranquil abiding at the same time as he engages in activism. Ramzi just joined us, lives in New Jersey and works in New York, wants to see a better future for everyone, and he feels it starts with education and community outreach. Beautiful, thank you. Evans is from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome, welcome. He's thinking of impact of tariffs and how the sub-Saharan countries can cope, also preparing for climate and agriculture, and is a bit nervous. Thank you so much for sharing. And there's a comment from Jim about 350 million African diaspora. Did I pronounce that right? The non-American, non-native around the world. Thank you for that.
And I'm going to pause as you're reading to give people some time to continue to type in and share a little bit about who we are and some of the guardians who are already on board. So I'm the founder. I'm Heidi Cuppari. I'm the founder of Dream Tank, a movement born almost 10 years ago in partnership with my own children and people in the Boulder community, cross-sector leaders, social entrepreneurs, professionals. We really started out as an experiment, is what would the world look like if we let kids' dreams lead the way? And what if we had a think tank and an accelerator to make young people's dreams a reality and see what the world could look like? And that was born from a very long career I've had now, 25 plus years in impact investing and systems change. I've worked in the system, outside of the system, all around, and have learned a lot about transforming money and meaning, and have helped steward a lot of people of wealth to transform their money into their purpose and social impact. And I saw the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 as moonshots. And I thought we could never achieve those without cross-sector radical collaboration and inspiration. And I felt the thing that was missing was children and their ideas. And that's how the first idea was born. And we've prototyped and done many different programs, and we'll tell you more stories later. But basically, it's kind of an awakening of the spark of the individual spirit and their purpose, and then helping them with mentorship and tools to go do it. And it has evolved. Many people have asked us to do these design challenges where we could help a company solve a problem with youth innovation. So we've done everything from the individual accelerator for the individual ideas of each young person up to a collective impact kind of design challenge where a company or an organization is sponsoring so the young people can share their ideas. So it's the whole range. And we really learned what's worked and what hasn't worked. We've had young people leading this organization in different roles. So you'll meet Ava Celeste. She's our Chief of Staff Fellow. And she's our first youth member of our Guardian, along with Zineb, who is here from Youth at X Youth. And I wanted to share a little bit about other people on the room. And Jenny is going to introduce herself. And we also have Eleni Anna Sophia, who I think is here. And if she can there you are, raise your hand and say hello. She's my soul sister and conscious creation and many things. And we have Allison Burchell here, who is one of our science advisors. And she can wave her hand here. Allison, if you're here and off screen, please do so. And we have Ramsey Farris, who has been with us since 2020. Multimedia producer, magic maker, divine masculine leader of men, and we have divine feminine, divine masculine, and everyone in between. Eleni is really one of the biggest examples of the divine feminine I've ever met, and we are such soul sisters, and we've been remembering what our mission is with all of these beautiful council members. We have Sina Mui. She's here. She's going to be a little bit late, but she's provided the music for us, and some of her network are here from Youth by Youth. And we have Ava Celeste, and please wave. And Ava Celeste is going to play a special role today. She's going to witness, listen deeply, and share anything that wants to come through her from the youth heart of what we're doing, which is at the core of everything. And now, Jenny, I'd love for you to introduce yourself briefly.
Yes, I will. I will read a few more messages here in just 1 minute. If I haven't read yours yet, my apologies. So my name is Jenny Heinze. I actually come from the world of the corporate world and exited that about 3 years ago, and was always focused on business design and technology, but always had the passion around designing learning as a living experience instead of the curriculum context and the technologies associated that we see. And so my role and where I work is in the intersection of technology, youth empowerment, and inner development. And today I'm really the weaver and the guardian of the learning, as we're hearing and talking about, closely aligned with all the other guardians that Heidi mentioned, to honor the soul and to bring the soul into everything we do going forward. Very nice to meet everybody. Let me also just quickly share a few more updates here. Jules is joining from Boulder, and what's in her heart is to be of service and help people. First up is preparing for resiliency in our communities in the event of financial collapse, and then reimagining service-based culture via education. And Jim, my apologies, I did miss your first message. You're joining us from Minnesota with focus on outreach to all of Africa through the African Union. Thank you so much for that. And let's see, Allison is joining. She had a quick introduction here coming from Boulder, and she's committed to our planet and to a future we're life worth life inheriting and with appreciation for all that you do. Indy from California, he's a regenerative natural farmer and student of transforming governance economics knowledge into something heart-centered, donut economics. Beautiful. I hope I got everybody
Thank
this
you all
time.
for your comments. And I just want to say
Beautiful.
it's so wonderful to see many friends here and people that I've crossed paths with. Sis Cesar, Bud, Deborah, Derek. Derek is here from Kenya, and he was a very big part of our program in January. And I want to welcome him. He's really an emerging member of our council, and one of the first places we want to expand it to is in Kenya, in Nairobi area. And he has a beautiful organization. So go ahead, Derek, and type in the chat a little bit about yourself.
We also are welcoming Ambassador Yahuza Hambali Kachuta.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Heidi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, just type in the chat. Hi,
Can you hear me?
Derek. It's so good to see you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Hi.
Okay. Let me type it in. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy you're here.
Ambassador Yahuza is joining us from Nigeria. Welcome, welcome. And he is the founder of CACP, a nonprofit focused in Nigeria, and he's currently pushing for his organization leading activities, secured a climate action project in Nigeria, and hopes to learn and impact through this webinar. Thank you for joining. And Adrija from India, and what's in the heart is the question around what connects us all and how we can connect with it. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Wow, we're having so much positivity, right? But if you're feeling really down, feel free to share that too. Seems like everybody's here ready to roll up their sleeves, but we really wanted to take the temperature and really presence and not, take lightly like what's happening in the world and the impact it has on all these. The tariffs are going to impact everyone. A lot of things are going to impact everyone. And the one thing that I want to make sure we can all feel what's happening deeply. And then we come together, right? And my experience in over 25 years doing purpose-driven work is that when people feel something, they do something. So that's our next slide, is really talking about why is this happening, right? And we believe that we're at a profound moment of unraveling and emergence. And this is a choice point, a sacred remembering. And we had, Jenny and I came together about 3 months ago, and I just want to share this whole thing. We've been working on since we came together 3 months ago, and then Ava Celeste joined us a few weeks ago more regularly. And she was one of our interns from the Brown University program in January. And we were cooking up, all these things to launch. And then the one, when the Department of Education, and this is a global webinar, so it's not US focused, but I know that what's happening in the US impacts everyone really. So that's why it was a really rallying cry when I saw that. And I thought, oh my goodness, everyone's going to be wondering, what do I do about my kids and my own kids and their learning, right? And so we felt a really strong call to just start doing what we've been planning to do live in the moment with you along the way. So we have all kinds of amazing tools, things, and everything that we were building, almost staying up all night the past few days. And we realized that really what we want to facilitate today is connection, and then give you all a home to continue that as we move forward and provide tools for you to all create what you want to create in your communities. So more information coming. And I would say that, Jenny and I are very similar. For many of you who know me, you know that I've always been wanting to work from the field beyond right and wrong. That's one of my, I'll talk more about that later, but it's a high energy space. And I have recently met some soul sisters, Eleni, Allison, and Jenny, recently in my life have been very, very, very present. And these are people who are saying, let's just remix everything. Let's rethink everything. We're willing to think not business as usual, right? And how can we help people without fear or overwhelm, help people feel grounded and come together right now? So that's what on that. And so Jenny, you are posting another question.
Yes, it is so beautiful. I already had posted which words resonate, and we're getting beautiful feedbacks like emergence and awakening, resilience and connection, transformation and collective consciousness, emergence, decisive. So this really just carries forward just the uplifting and positive presence everybody's coming into here. That really resonates. I think that's beautiful.
And as we can see, right, when systems, and something that I've said for 25 years that I've been working on within the system is, how can I transform the existing system while experimenting, creating a new one? So that's what I've done for 25 years, working in the system, if you will, trying to transform it, right? In the financial system, at UBS, in the public markets. I understand all the different assets one can leverage within the system for social impact. And then, of course, 10 years ago, we've been experimenting with Dream Tank of all different new systems, different ways of leading and learning. And now is that inflection point where it's clear the old system is falling apart, not working, and we can emerge and say, we've been experimenting for 10 years, and here it is. And so it's a beautiful moment that's kind of orchestrated in a way, for all of us. And while we see all these systems falling apart and people, and this is really happening, and things are happening that are going to change fundamentally our country and the world, and that there is an awakening, like that all of you are feeling on this and saying there is awakening under the undercurrent of everything. That is what we're meant to do, to tune into with all of you and stay grounded, stay the course, and do our good work and look after each other and not get totally thrown off by all of these things that are coming at us. Just knowing with a deep, wise place that this is happening for us. And now, I did not necessarily like the way this is happening, but no one could predict how these things are going to happen. But many of us who are deep meditators and visionary have known and felt that something big was going to come like this to shift us and awaken us. And this is the time. So, so the key here is this is the design that revealed itself, right? Not a strategy, but a spiral, a soul pattern for reimagining learning. The number one piece is youth-led, or that we learned in 10 years, right? Flip the script, give the youth the reins, and support them on what they want to build, right? Something in Dream Tank that stuck with all the dream makers over the years was how we want to overcome, dream crushers. We don't want any mentors coming into our field and telling us we can't do something, right? In traditional entrepreneurial accelerators, a lot of time mentors are the ones with the wisdom, right? And are telling the young people, you can't do that. They're trying to help, right? They're actually trying to help and say, well, why don't you start with this? Or why don't you go get that degree? And then you can do this, right? Mentors have been really trying to help. But what we had trained our mentors to do is actually, we call them mentors, but when they walk away, they feel like they were mentored by the youth. So they come in and we do this training. We did this training where there's a set of beliefs, and that one of them is no dream crushing. And as a mentor, you're stepping into a world where their ideas are what you try to build, right? We've had lots of fun events where we actually just built a portal, where the adults had to crawl through while the kids welcome them on the other side. And on the other side, they're now in a world where kids' ideas are the leaders. So we've done so many fun experiments with that around. And when I say youth leadership, it's within a container. It's within a beautiful agreement field. It's not just like run roughshod. We're all learning and growing with shared values and learning how to communicate respectfully across generations. So the young people learn how to work with mentors as much as the mentors learn how to work with young people. And this is an incredible experience here to be a part of this and work with youth in this way, because I don't know if many of you have read lots of things about how hard it is to hire and retain Gen Z talent right now for corporations. That's because their generation, your generation, for the youth here, don't want to do things as business as usual, want to manage their health, want to have flexible lifestyles, all the things that we've always wanted. Now they're just it's such a big force where we could actually have a big shift in our economy if young people come together and say, this is how we want to do it, right? And they're the biggest generation focused on mental health and has destigmatized that. I mean, there's a huge impacts that this generation has already had. So that's why youth-led. So community-centered, of course. So we're actively building community-based programs, community blueprints, resilience programs. One example that I want to share is we did this, how community can yield impact and systems change, is we had a Future of Boulder accelerator camp a few years ago. And actually it was 2019 because it was right before COVID. And we had the mayor and the young people, they were age 7 and 8 up to 18 years old. We had youth and fellows, young fellows, and they had to divide up. And one of their design challenges was, how can you make Boulder a city of the future where all sustainable development goals are solved, right? And they went off in their teams and they made their little videos and their pitches. And we told them, the mayor is coming to listen to your ideas. And we facilitated that. We had Suzanne Jones, who was the mayor at the time, come and listen to their ideas during the event. And one of the teams, that was the sustaining team for regeneration and clean environment, said, Mayor, Boulder is not a city that should have single-use plastic. This is not what we should be doing here, right? And styrofoam, they wanted to get rid of that. So the mayor said, well, I'd love if you could change it, but you can't. First, you got to go to she said, here's what you got to do. You got to go to the state level. You got to change a law that actually legislates, provides the ability for cities to legislate, and it prevents them from making any decisions or changes from a law from the state level. So you have to go change it at the state level first. So the kids were all fired up, and a few of the kids from that camp were then doing in our field. Obviously, a few months later, I met State Senator and Deborah Brown did this together. She's here. She did this together with me. So if you're not on camera, wave, Deborah. So we basically did a plastic-free Colorado campaign with a group of kids from Platt Choice Middle School. So my son was in 6th grade at the time. He recruited a bunch of other kids who had to do their community service for their school with a nonprofit. So they chose to decide on banning, trying to end this law. So we did all kinds of wonderful trainings together with Deborah and Good Business Colorado, where she was before. And we helped organize a youth lobby day. We brought the young people, but here's the key. Lobbying is also an outdated word. What we would train is, this is multi-stakeholder collaboration. We do not see divides in this field. We do not see Republican or Democrat. We see people, real people with real needs that need to be heard. So your job is to listen to everyone's problems in the world, in the room, that are against this thing, and try to solve it. right? So thinking about people as humans, not people to fight against, not people to point at and yell at, but to solve their problem with their creativity. So that led to a lot of success. And then COVID shut everything down. And we had a beautiful day at the state capitol. The young people were very respectful and they had their rallying points and talking points. And over the course of the next couple of years, even during COVID, that it actually parts of that legislation passed. And now in Boulder, why you do not have plastic shopping bags has a lot to do with those kids. So this is just one example of how this unique approach can change things. And people are much more willing to help young people, especially if they're not pointing fingers, and we make sure that everybody is respectful to each other and really listening to each other. Learning as the heart, right? So learning is the heart of everything. We're actively building learning programs of the future, student-led, inclusive for children on the spectrum, ADHD, dyslexia, any kind of young person with any kind of gift or superpower we're developing. And a very exciting personalized lifelong learning buddy, which many of you who've known me for years know that I've been dreaming about building this kind of Yoda in your pocket for kids, this AI Yoda. And I met Jenny, who basically got the same download and was already developing it. So we actually have one of the most exciting, mind-blowing AI Yoda type experience that we'll share with you at a next webinar, most likely. And then sacred harmony as one, right? We are all unified. So this is where I want to talk about, I learned the term Wu Wei from my beloved Eleni, who's in the room. And I didn't know that there was a word for something I've always been striving towards, how to work. And it's a Taoist principle of action and non-action. And it refers to the cultivation of a state of being in which our actions are quite effortlessly in alignment with the ebb and flow of the elemental cycles of the natural world. It is a kind of going with the flow that is characterized by great ease and awareness, in which, without even trying, we're able to respond perfectly to whatever situations arise. And another phrase is the Rumi's field beyond right and wrong. I've always wanted to collaborate with people where we don't allow our personal triggers, our personal issues to slow us down. And we've done a lot of growing and healing, and we always have womb spaces and healing spaces for that. But that means that we are not blaming each other. If we misspeak or if we say something wrong, we don't have to spend a lot of time processing, because we know that we respect and love each other, and we can just operate from a new place in teams where it's just effortless. And we've been able to do that with Eleni, with Allison, with Jenny and Ava. And then recently I've been talking more with Ramsey and more people coming into the field. This is the field we're inviting you all into. Do you want to read anything that's in the chat, Jenny?
Yeah, I just invited everybody to share with us which layers really are speaking most to you or you're drawn to. And as we unfold this, really one of the key takeaways here is that we're really breaking down the silos, right? We're no longer considering learning to be a silo where children go to somewhere separate from the community. Everything integrates beautifully for lifelong learning in the heart
Yes.
of the community, right?
Yeah.
That's,
So,
I think, the magic.
Yeah, it's like literally breaking down the walls of the schools, right? Not literally physically, but breaking down that the school is separate right now from our community, right? But the example I gave you, if everyone had learning like that, where that as a young person, they could be aware of their community, aware of the world around them, and say, I want to get rid of plastic straws. I really like turtles, right? Well, now you can do something about it, and that can be your learning path. And you will learn the science, you learn math, you learn all those subjects that are aligned with what you want to create. And I have seen 10-year-olds do almost rocket science level math in a short period of time because they want to create something. So just like STEM is another example, right? STEM is a set of tools, but STEM is not a program in of itself, right? So some of the STEM programs we've seen across the country haven't fully landed their intention, which is they create a lot of times like a fictional thing that they build. We're saying take STEM, take STEAM, all these beautiful social emotional learning, all these things that have been created to try to get our existing school systems in a better place and actually apply them, right, as tools, right? So engineering is not a major in of itself, it's a toolkit, right? So think about when I would ask a young person I mentor, what are you interested? I'm interested in engineering. I say, what are you interested in building? They're like, nobody asked me that before. I said, well, that's exactly what you want to know, isn't it? They're like, oh, if I want to build this, I need this kind of engineering, right? So this is why we're flipping. I can't even say that. On its head. More examples of that. Okay, should we go to the next slide?
I think we're ready.
Okay. Okay, so I want to now really call on each of you. Each of you are clearly already part of this spiral, and you're not here by accident. And from your RSVP responses, which I very much appreciate you all taking, was very important for us to feel you and know who was joining for us to best prepare. We know in this space, we have youth leaders ready to reimagine systems. If you're a youth leader, just do like a thumbs up or a heart or a star or something. Youth leaders ready to reimagine systems and create learning pods in their communities. We have educators and mentors seeking soul-aligned ways to guide the next generation. We have policy advocates and funders looking for tangible ways to support regenerative education. We have parents navigating homeschooling and looking for community and tools. We have healers, artists, and spiritual guides who want to bring wonder and intuition back into how we learn.
Yeah, and there were a few that I want to highlight very specifically. And thank you, Bud. You're absolutely right that today the challenge is that STEM excludes things like art and history and civic and philosophy. So a holistic view and a holistic approach to learning, right, is what we're talking about. One of you shared with us that we must stop judging kids by their weaknesses. We want to uplift them, every single one, individualized, personalized learning. Every child becomes the focus point and the spotlight. Another one of you said, let's move from adult-led to youth-led. That's exactly what Heidi specifically has been doing for 10 years and is the answer. It's just simply the answer. There's nothing more to say about that. Someone else asked, how do we make this real in rural Kenya, where we homeschool with no resources? What we're creating has to work everywhere, all around the world, no matter what. And the tie directly to uplifting communities through youth-led initiatives is truly life-changing, I believe, for all future communities as we progress through here. And so this is the field. This is us. This is you, all of us together. And the beauty of this is despite the uproars, despite the anxiety that's out there and all the significant change, the time is now, and we've already established and starting council and trust structures to enable and support and empower the children all around the world with the right context and the right holistic approach, but to your point.
And so now at this point, we wanted to invite a reflection from our beloved youth council member, Ava Celeste Matos. Hello. Hi, she's a soul voice of the spiral and a powerful intuitive leader emerging in this work. So we'd love to hear what you're feeling or seeing right now, Celeste, in your body, your spirit, or your vision of the future.
Yeah, of course. Also, thank you, everyone. It's so nice to meet you, even if through a screen. It means a lot to reach out to Voices today and get to talk to our next generation of leaders and people who want to be a part of the spiral. I'm just going to share a little bit about myself real quick before I share a reflection. I met Heidi through doing a 2-week internship at Brown University, through Brown. And when I was in that 2-week internship, we developed a youth innovation fund that focused not just on expanding capabilities for people to innovate and believe in themselves, but also giving them the know-how. Because I feel in my spirit, we live in a very discouraging entrepreneurial climate and ecosystem, and it's really important for youth to know that they have the know-how and also the capability to get to again fight against dream crushers, like Heidi said. And so that's what speaks most personally to me, is not even just like the tools from an implementation approach, but really just a cultivation of the spirit and the belief that we're all in this together and we all want to cultivate futures that can be realized and can fight against this scary attack on education that we're currently experiencing. So that's my vision for the future. Despite all the negativity that's going on, I'm very optimistic because I think it's lighting a fire under all of us, to come back stronger, to come back more resilient, and to really be a part of something. And so I'm honored to be a part of the Youth Council and this spiral, and I'm looking forward to reinventing education and using this as an opportunity for innovation as a point of as opposed to fight or flight. We turn our moments of survival mode into moments of action, and I think like that's the key to any major movement. So I think this will blossom into something really amazing, and we would really ask all of you to want to be a part of it or support us. And just thank you for being here. And I'm here to keep asking, like, are we still listening to the youth? Are we designing something that they'd actually want to be a part of? Um, a lot of employers and a lot of organizations don't want to hire Gen Z or youth right now. How can we possibly expect our youth to form futures for us if we're not even willing to let them in? And so we really want to create a space and create those spaces that are just desperately not there in order to see the change that we want to. And so we want to make sure that they're heard.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Zineb, I see that you are here after, and so if you have a moment and feel okay coming on calendar and just sharing a little bit, she's another one of our young adult council members, and I just wanted to give the voice more to the younger folks. And I did not tell her I was going
May
to do
not
this.
be able
So,
to. I don't
okay.
know. She's done
So if
quite
you're okay,
impressive.
just jumping in, we wanted to give you a voice and she gave us the beautiful music.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry, I'm moving around. I just moved country a few days ago, so it's been a bit hectic. But it's a pleasure to be in this space with you all. And I think the person who spoke right before me expressed it absolutely beautifully. Um, at the end of the day, I think that young people are faced with uh, a mountain of challenges, and that like them taking full agency um, in addressing those challenges is the best education that they can get. So recognizing that right now there's like this desire to not feel powerless um, in addressing the situations that we see, and recognizing that like all the forms of education that we're talking about are actually about reclaiming our full power. So yeah.
Beautiful. Yes. And I knew we were kindred spirits when I even just first met you and knew that your organization is called Youth by Youth. And I thought, she gets it. So many people have been designing all kinds of things without youth at the table. And it is really almost just as simple as that. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, so here is, and we still have, okay, we still have time. We wanted to get through most of it and create a space. We have different things we can show you. We have different things we can talk about. and this is not a pitch. We're inviting you all to step into this spiral with us. And we will have community spaces. And one of the things that we are offering is to schedule, so joining the community. And when you schedule a private spiral alignment session, you will also be able to experiment and experience our Yoda, if you will. Before we reveal the name and everything, we're just going to call it that because it's very sacred. And we are going to actually just get started building with all of you, right? So we built subscription levels, we built resources, we have all this stuff on the back end. And I will just say that 11 p.m. last night, Jenny and I just took a step back and we're just like, wait a second, let's really sit with here. Let's sit with everyone who's coming and realize that all these tools and things will be here, but we really want to feel connected and have people feel like they are part of this with us and break down worries about platforms and everything right now. So just know you will have collaboration spaces, connectivity spaces, resources to run your own learning pod, right? All of that is here. For now, we wanted to just invite us to be together on this last slide without getting totally overwhelmed by tools and things. And say, all you have to do really is book. And if you want to put the link in the chat, Jenny, for how to book these sessions. So we are going to already do planning calls. So on Monday and Tuesday next week, this is going to be a free offering. Is that if you want to start building and actually start, thinking about how you can run your own little mini micro school learning community with youth at the core, we're going to actually start doing that on Monday. We're going to right now. So that was one of the promises, is that you can start right now. And if you join on Monday or Tuesday, we gave 2 different times to hopefully work with many of your schedules. We tried to do it in the morning, so for people across the globe. And we're actually just going to start. Okay, we're going to have a community and we're going to start. So if you go ahead and even just sign up for that right now, that's where we're going to get more in the nitty gritty. And I know a lot of times we lose people at the top of the hour, even though we have a 75-minute webinar. So I wanted to make sure you all knew that we are starting and it is time, and you can just go ahead and sign up. And we will send a follow-up email with other materials. So two things. Next call, we're building or private session, right? So the private sessions these are also a free offering, right? These are very valuable offerings that we're offering from our hearts and souls. And we want to embody this kind of gift economy, if you will, within our ethos here, within our world, is to, as you're receiving value, we'll give you things to donate. And for now, we're going to offer all of these things as a gift right now until we start, generating hopefully some donations and revenue. We have all kinds of programs, all kinds of budgets and decks for people who want to fund their own city, who want to fund a sister city combo where we can set up an entire operation. So we have tools and ways for you to do it yourself, all the way up to fund an entire sister city combo, which means we want to pair like Nairobi with Boulder, for example, right? We have Derek, we have a whole team of people in Nairobi, both from our internship program and also from Youth by Youth. And so Kenya and Nairobi, this is a big one that's very alive right now for many of us. And we want to fund a sister city combo for Boulder and Nairobi, right? That's one of the first things we want to do. So that's like, $500,000, $750,000 for the sister city combo. That's for philanthropists, foundations, those kinds of things. But then we're going to go all the way down to we're making this accessible, right? We're making this accessible that anyone can do it. And I think that is also the key here.
Yeah, I would love to add if this sounds like just another community, just another opportunity to join like-minded people, we are very determined for that not to be the case. This is not just another one to add to your list. This is the invitation for us to organize all like-minded people in all countries all around the world, led by youth, to lead into the path that we all know we need to get to and where we need to go. That is the intention here,
Yes.
with all of our heart and all of our soul, to midwife. I don't know why that's been sticking with us, but the midwifing of the new earth is really the spirit that we would love for you to take away from this session until we meet again.
And I would also add that the private sessions, that is also where we can work with you on where do you want to, where's your seat, right? In the Jedi Council and the Guardianship Council, operating beyond the field of right and wrong, the downloads and visions many of us have gotten that we were in this circle and in this council for many lifetimes. This is what it is. And one-on-one, we will show you all, we can talk about where do you fit in. So for example, I want to just say, Justin, you've been with us since the start. You have a lot of background in blockchain and Web3. We have an entire pod, a guardianship pod, we want to fill out with building that aspect of our decentralized global network out, right? So other people have skills. So with the one-on-one calls or the group calls, we can presence with you where your place is to take. There's different types of groups that, and oh, I want to also acknowledge, is Eliza still here? I want to say Eliza has worked so much with these decentralized groups, and Eliza Harold. And she and I worked so much on this. She helped co-pilot. She's another Wu Wei soul sister who I worked with on the Winternship 2 years ago. And she's all about water and wisdom. And she's brilliant at these different roles in councils, and that we've worked so much on in the past, and that we're bringing that back in now. So I just wanted you to say hello and
hello.
Just
I'm glad this is happening. I can't even tell you. The time is so right.
Thank you, love.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there might be any questions or thoughts or wisdom blurps and sparkles that anyone wants to share.
Yeah, and you're welcome to all come
this
on
moment.
camera too, because we want to take a picture.
Absolutely.
So we're going to ask Celeste to take a picture. And we want to see all your faces if possible. I see MB there, who's been with us since during COVID. MB has been thinking about this for so long and wanting to collaborate, and all the different moments we've connected. And is everyone here? I also want to acknowledge people who are up in the middle of the night to be here. I mean, who's past midnight, between midnight and 6 a.m. on the call right now? You know, this is like, we have India, we have Kenya. I mean, this is really amazing. And there's and Allison. Oh, I love it. And I just love seeing everyone here.
Just a quick reminder, everybody, April 5th, all over the world, people are rallying. I'm sure most of you have heard about this. If not, I will send something to Heidi to blast out. And the gathering in Boulder is at the corner of Table Mason Broadway, just down from the labs, which is appropriate. And I think 5,000 people have signed up to support not only a future worth inheriting, but a government worth inheriting. All right, just wanted to shout that out to everybody. Thanks.
Thank you, Allison.
Okay, are we taking a picture? Or is that at the
Yes,
end?
let's take a picture. Okay, let's do it.
Turn your cameras on just for a second so we can take the picture.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to come on camera for security reasons. This is the
Okay.
photo. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sounds like a good reason not to, so.
Yeah, I'm a part of the unraveling right now. I'm at the core of the whole thing, helping to navigate things.
You want to share? Yeah. Did you
Okay.
put a message in the chat? Because we'd love to hear more if you're willing to share.
Okay, I guess I'll just take it like this then. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Good job. Nice, Justin. I like those sunflowers. Great. Well, let's just open the floor. Just anyone want to speak? We have 15 minutes. I want to make sure if you scheduled, if you're coming to one of the meetings next week where we get into the nitty gritty and we're going to start actually helping you get these things set up, or if you booked your alignment session, just put a thumbs up. And if you have not, please let us know what's missing for you here and what you'd like to see more of before you engage in the chat, just so we know. And anyone's welcome to come on camera and on voice and say hello and just chat if they would like. And I specifically want to make sure the young people on here have spoken if they would like to.
Heidi, I'll just go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Yes, so thank you for the chance, and I love the fact that we are here together. I'm at work at the moment, so I'm not using my laptop, so I wouldn't come on camera, but I'm glad we were able to work through the internship program for Dream Tank. I love the fact that we are here, coming back strong. I'm here with Dillon, Evans, and Arnold from Safe House Kenya, and we are glad to be part of the program, and we are coming up, of course, with a lot of conscious knowing that we are gonna work together towards the dream. And I love to say that we are all making the chaos come to an organized, way on how we can together move forward. So thank you, all of you on the turn up. It's an amazing step that we are all making in, trying to get action done and connections to be expanded through this program. And yeah, thank you for the opportunity to be here, Heidi.
Thank you, Derek. Oh, so happy to have you and some of your team here. And I know that the youth people here, some of them are operating also in Kenya. Is there any youth by youth person who wants to speak up? Other than Professor Z, that you called her. I don't know if someone's trying to speak, but you're on mute. Okay.
Heidi, I'd like to jump in and just say that I just got back from East Africa, so I'm really happy to see the representatives from Kenya. I was in Jinja and Mubindi doing community gatherings around watershed restoration and water filtration. It was very powerful, very poignant, and really affirmed for me that we're on the right track, because the youth are really recognizing that it's their future that is at stake here, and sort of claiming the right to stand up and speak about it and make it happen in a positive way.
Thank you, Eliza. Yes.
Ugo, dear, can you unmute?
Oh, I saw your
I-
smile. I knew she wanted to speak.
I had this feeling that Jenny would have liked me to speak, but I'm making the decision. Hi, everyone. My name is Ugo. I have hosted sessions at Youth by Youth since 2022, but I'm not a member of the core team. I just joined the Weavership community, and then I host a session, and then I go back to my personal practice. Outside of Youth by Youth since 2020, I've been running a book donation project in 5 states in Nigeria. Okay, so you can hear the mosque now. That's as if you can hear the mosque. But I told Jenny and a couple of women who joined the intergenerational circle last year, I experienced a feeling of disconnect from my social activism, my social action practice, and so I took a period of rest. And then I began to investigate what it looks like for young people who, because of capitalism and the state of the world, have felt like their chair has dwindled. And so I began to join communities and talk to people and try to find out what it is like to regain your chair and your laughter. So I like to smile a lot. Yeah, so that was what it became for me. But right now, I am I'm supporting the work of libraries, so community libraries outside of schools across states in Nigeria by spotlighting them, donating to them, and all of those many, many things. So what's my social action practice like? What's my education activism like? It straddles many emotions. Sometimes it's very energetic, other times it sits and it just listens to the state of the world. And so I'm very, very happy to connect with people who hold all of the emotions that surround what it is like for us to pursue good in the world today. And I'm really, really glad I got to be here. I will see if I think I need to sit with myself before booking a call, but I need to make that decision. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Ugo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dylan.
I hope you're well. I'm good. I'm good.
I've
So
missed you
my
all.
I've missed you too. I've missed you too, Heidi. So my name is Dylan Mulindi. I'm a member of the Safe House Kenya. I'm glad that we're here with Derek, we're here with Arnold. So what we really do is majorly empowering the youth in their different things that they do. Personally, I'm a psychologist, an addictive psychologist. I deal with addict and also an AI enthusiast because the technology right now is growing at a very drastic level and issues of addiction, especially internet addictions, are coming up. So we have to be there for our fellow youths, apart from empowering them in different fields that we are in. We also try to manage their addiction and especially digital addiction. I was glad to work with Heidi in the Winterns program. We really came up with a very, very revolutionizing idea, which I know is underway and I know with time that we will implement it and it will be very helpful to the youth in general. Yeah, I think that's it for now. We will get to know more about each other as time goes by, and I know we are going to do marvelous things. We're going to do revolutionize things in the future.
Thank you, Dylan. So that is so beautiful to hear from everyone. Oh my gosh. I want to hear from Ramsey next.
Hi guys. Yeah, obviously, it's been an incredible journey since the start here. And, I really kind of came on more so as like kind of like a technical advisor working on some of the multiverse, metaverse stuff that we were doing, trying to bring people together during COVID times. And I think, it's evolved and, me kind of working heavily internationally, I've had like a really firsthand approach as into like the globalization of the world and the current state of things. And I think the importance of relying on peer-to-peer community environments to help educate and really just kind of encourage younger people and introduce them to, you know, opportunities that they don't learn in traditional education anymore. You know, I think seeing how much things have changed and seeing our current state, it's just like this sort of path that I've been on has kind of led me to be very, very interested in being a part of this and doing everything that I can to use the tools and the knowledge that I've experienced working internationally to kind of bridge that divide. And I think us here in America have a lot to learn from what some of the sort of less fortunate people have kind of gained in their worlds, especially in like African countries that are just growing exponentially fast. And you know, the tools and resources that they're using that we're not really familiar with, and how to apply those things here in America, and vice versa. So I think, you know, that's just a lot of like what I'm here for, and to bring in, you know, some of the kind of some of the people as well, that can maybe be helpful in growing things and growing, you know, the voice and the network.
Ramsey got us a a Times Square billboard teed up for one of the programs that we were doing. So he's being very humble. So I just want to say that we have so many incredible Jedi in the room right now.
And you know, and to that note too, it's like working with the Times Square Alliance specifically. You know, recently on Monday we had a dinner with the Times Square Alliance, and there was Mayor Adams of New York was there, as well as a few other high profile people, and then some of the leading people in out of home marketing in America. So some of the biggest marketers and advertisers were at this dinner. And, you know, the Times Square Alliance is a great program to be aligned with, and they would help our efforts moving forward. And then there's a few other communities, like, you know, I'm currently working with a group called Pudgy Penguins, and I don't know if anyone's heard of them, but they've been making a lot of noise online. And they are an NFT, and they are a digital coin, and they're making so much noise. In the recent weeks, especially, they've had over 130 million impressions. And the guys, I'm actually going for dinner with some of the team tonight here in New York. They're doing activations around the world. They're targeting a younger, like Gen A demographic. So, you know, it's a real great conduit to kind of maybe utilize to some extent or another. You guys should definitely check out the Pudgy Penguins when you get a chance. They're doing some really cool stuff. So yeah, so that's me, and I can't wait for the breakout calls to the one-on-ones. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward.
Yeah.
And I have my
get in there, you know.
I have Michelle with me here too, and she's looking
Oh, hi,
forward to
Michelle.
getting involved. She's just on the
Katie, how are
Hi,
you?
Michelle. Awesome. So good to see you there. I'm so excited for you guys to plug in and for all this fun to kick off and well, it's hard there's hard and fun. It's our journey. And you know, when you're sharing that story, it just occurred to me that we do have a few minutes left, that everyone in this room can move a mountain in your own world, right? Everyone in this room knows one person or two people or one relationship or two relationships that if you were to bring to the whole for our collective mission could really change things. I know Allison was a USGS fellow. She's got relationships at all the levels, have actually changed legislation, has done a lot of environmental protection. Bud Wilson, Bud, you were like, you know, I mean, you are one of the first people to do triple bottom line business years and years ago, right? We have Bud Wilson. The people in the room here, when we're moving together, just imagine, right? We're going on this mission. You know, it's like, can you get this person? Can you get this person? We need this person in order to achieve our impact, right? So when we all bring, you know, those big influencers or circles of influence that we all have access to in union together, we really can move mountains and shift systems. I like that spirit hands, Justin. Allison, you want to say something?
Maybe just, I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you, the core gang, to decide. But something that we could be targeting, Ramsey, is the fact that there's going to be a Global World Forum 2.2 December of this year. And, we might want to
Have a presence there.
have a presence there. Let's all think about it. Let me know, and I will follow through accordingly.
Yeah, there's also, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying I would love that. I'm heading out to the UAE at the end of April for Token 2049, which is a sort of digital exchange kind of based focused program. I don't know if anyone else is going to be out there, but it's interesting because you're just aligning with like-minded focused people who are really like moving the needle. And they're from all over the world. So it's wild. Like tonight, I'm having dinner with a startup out of Tel Aviv and then another crypto exchange out of Warsaw, Poland, here in New York. And it's just like people are just really just like moving the needle, and they're creating jobs that don't really exist right now. So that's the other thing, is like really understanding that. I just had Alec, who Heidi knows, who worked with us originally years ago when we first met. Alec was at a panel in Miami, and they were talking about like generative AI and like production and development. And he's someone that's been like really behind this since its inception, and he knows it better than anybody. I took him to SIG.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to reconnect with him.
But he was like, dude, he's like, the people that were talking, they didn't bring up any valuable points, and they like, it's like almost as if they don't know how to really utilize some of the AI programs that are out there. So just like the simplest thing of being like a prompt developer and understanding how you can have a career, for young people to understand the opportunity there, it's like there's a gap. And a lot of these like these panels that are being hosted, it's like, they're bringing on people from pharmaceutical companies, let's say, to come in and talk about like AI and data. And it's like they're not as hands-on as the guys that are
They
like
don't, you're absolutely right.
So it's interesting. There's a little gap there, so that it just felt like to bring that up. So I think that's where we can I can maybe help benefit, through some of the
Amazing.
programs.
Another one of our partners that we just had a call with, Jonah Cooper Jr., who we've been exploring, and they're a big workforce development company, and this is a big one for them. So we have someone in the field who knows that the future, all these jobs. I mean, Eliza, you raised your hand. And by the way, if you have to leave, go ahead and just send a little message or say hello as you log out. Make sure you schedule. And but I'm willing to stay with whoever wants to stay and chat more. And I also want to really acknowledge Jules Marchand, because she's the one that introduced me to Allison, and she's another Wu Wei amazing soul sister. And she and I want to start what we're calling the Womb Pod, which is it's open to men and women. It is more about sending positive, like actually shifting and sending positive vibrations to people around the world that need it. So go ahead, Eliza. Oh, I think she dropped off for a second, and now she's back.
She should be back, yes.
Yes. Eliza, did you want to speak?
Yeah, hi. My phone lost battery charge. I'm April 28th through March 1st. I'm going to be attending a PrepCom for the 4th annual conference on financing sustainable development in the UN. And I've applied for a side event. I haven't heard whether it's going to be accepted or not, but bringing the youth up and forward in this conversation is part of the side event. So I would love to circle up with you and see how I could include
Yes.
Dream Bank in that.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much. Yes, that's a beautiful offering. And if there's anything that people that's coming up, like you keep, I love this emergence of sharing all the upcoming things that we're all doing and how we can amplify and support each other. I feel like, Bud, you've been waiting to say something. No?
Well, only that you exaggerated a little bit, I think, in your comment and introduction. But one of the things that I will be drawing on because of your focus on youth, I was fortunate to be the founding executive director of a project called Earth Walk, Nature-Centered Life Learning. And we worked with all of the most impoverished inner city schools in Denver in an after-school service learning initiative. And then we took these kids over to Moab, Utah, where our founder had some property. And we worked with a curriculum called Earth Force that was originally designed for high school kids, but we worked with 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. And when I say most impoverished, there are 72 neighborhoods in Denver. Just one of them in our group was #1 in murder, #2 in aggravated assault, and #1 in theft. So working with disadvantaged youth is another huge area that our entire world needs to embrace. So I'm just grateful to be in this, get invited to this kind of at the last minute. And I have a lot of networks that, as you know, Heidi, obviously the way of nature is going to be
Absolutely, hugely
and
part of it.
Eleni, I sent a note earlier. It's great to see her here. And then, of course, I mentioned that Zeneb and I worked together for 12 lunar cycles off and on. And I was just disappointed she didn't manage to get to our larger gathering in Barcelona in the fall of 2023. So we've got some seasoned veterans here in terms of being able to roll up our sleeves and get busy with bringing forth this awakening. And I'm just grateful to be able to share and not have people say, "Okay, boomer."
Good one.
Yeah, good luck.
I said good one, but you heard good luck. But you're doing it. I think you're doing a good job not being an okay boomer person. Everyone who's here is stepping in. Anything else? Any one word? We would love to hear just one word of how you're feeling leaving this. And if you, we will be sending you the follow-up, within a few hours, with the links, and again with some more resources to keep going. And I'm really excited to co-create with all of you. Really, this is a team that's forming right here in all of your different, and this is not our project, not my project. This is not Jenny's project. This is not Celeste's project. This is your project. This is our project. And this is the new world. So we want you to imagine seeing what you have all been working on fitting in the constellation, right, of us all working together. So that's why it's not a pitch, it's an invitation. And really by you finding where you sit in our decentralized structure is going to activate so much for all of what you are wanting to do and what you're wanting to implement together with us. Thank you, Zinab. Co-creation. Beautiful.
Can we get the links again? I lost them when my phone lost battery.
Absolutely. Yeah, it will be sent out. No worries. You'll have them.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And I see them right here. I could just paste them really quick. Allison, So I wish Eleni hadn't hopped off. Since we're still here, it would have been fun to tell some stories. But I'm really delighted, and maybe we'll see some of you in Boulder tomorrow. And Jules, I didn't get to hear your voice, but you have
Yeah,
been.
sorry about that. I'm a
No,
little
you don't
under
have
the
to.
weather.
I just want to say hi.
I know. I'm a little under the weather today, so I'm like kind of hanging back a little bit. But thanks for the invitation. More to come. Everything's moving forward with the Carbon Credit Currency Bank. I just got good news as we were sitting here about closing and funding and setting up the Cultural Institute, which has a big education quadrant. So
beautiful.
More to come. More to come. And thanks everyone for your patience.
Great. And so if you want to schedule the private alignment session with Jenny and I, that links to both of our calendar, we can go deeper into that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Heidi, I just had one comment. After everyone gathers for the hands-off demonstration that's nationwide tomorrow, there's a TEDx talk at Mackey Auditorium with a whole lineup of pretty extraordinary people, including our Common Foundation. Matthew King is going to be talking about is it too late to transform capitalism as his TED talk at Mackey Auditorium. So for all of you older, it starts at 3 o'clock and it goes until 6. And then you can sign up and support the CU students that have put it all together. And there's an after party at the kitchen in Boulder as well, starting around 6:30. That's a little bit of a pricey ticket, but I think the TEDx talk would be inspiring and another place to gather after the demonstration down in South Boulder.
Awesome. Thank you. Now I know what my weekend looks like. Great.
Cool.
Well, yeah, so I'm excited to see everyone who's in Boulder and everyone who's not. We will have the global commons connecting us, and ultimately we'll be able to operationalize little pods in your own global community. I mean, clearly there's one in Kenya forming here. So we really invite you all to step in as much or as fully as you would like. And there will be, we didn't mention it here, but there are we've already started raising funds. We will be creating kind of an international trust that will be protected for all of our projects and all of the youth projects. Right now it's within the 501c3, so any donations are tax deductible, and off we go. So thank you all for being here, and we're so delighted to feel so good in these crazy times, knowing that we are all here together. So thank you.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
Lots of love to everyone. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Derek.
Bye. Thank you.
And Heidi, we need to catch up on Way of Nature stuff.
Yes, I can't wait. I see Way of Nature's like there's a pod forming there, obviously through Way of Nature and the grant that we worked on together that didn't come through, but that it activated a collaboration.
Yeah. And then there's so many networks that are emerging, as you know. One of them is the Center for Purposeful Leadership that I was on a call earlier today with our strategy for moving forward. And if you haven't heard of them, they used to be the Hartman Institute out of Minneapolis, but it's called the Center for Purposeful Leadership, and they have a weekly hearth event on Monday mornings that's really terrific, and you'd love it. But there's a way to cross-pollinate so much of this right now.
Beautiful.
It's really, I'll sign up and we can have a conversation follow-up for one of your
Okay. Did
sessions.
let's book that meeting link and let's do this. And I'll see you this weekend. I'm not sure what and when I'm going to, given all this stuff that we're still building, but I would love to be out and about a little bit. So, but I got to end this now, and I'm so excited. We're doing this. Okay.
You bet.
All right. Bye-bye.